Hi, this is Robert from Lounge Audio. Welcome to our channel. Today I'm going to talk about an album I bought at the thrift store years ago. So on one of my forays to the thrift store, I find this album. I bought it years ago. I hadn't played it until just last week. I put it on the turntable. I was shocked. Absolutely shocked how good it sounded. This is a Broadway musical review album called New Faces of 1952, produced by Leonard Sillman. He's a very successful Broadway producer, and he did these New Faces things in prior decades and in later too, in the 60s. So every once in a while he would do this musical review called New Faces. This happens to be 1952. This happens to be released by RCA. And it is stunning how good this album sounds. I've never heard any other audiophile, review of this album. I never have heard it mentioned, read about it mentioned anywhere. Never heard it played at any of the shows I've gone to, stereophile shows, things, had no idea about it. So when I put this album on the turntable, I was shocked how good it sounded. It was recorded probably in two separate sessions. They probably laid down the orchestra first, and then they laid down the vocals. I'm guessing on 2-track tape recorders. 2-track tape recorders did exist back then. And I only know this because there's pictures. You can see pictures of them. I've got them up where you've got the performers, the Broadway guys and gals doing vocals in a room. It looks like a bar, like some kind of dance hall place, dash bar. You can see the bar in the back with even the menu going on. It looks like there's even a door off to the side to go maybe where the restrooms are. So that's where they're laying down the vocals. There's no evidence of the orchestra there. So I'm assuming the orchestra was done at probably one of the larger RCA studios in New York. And then they lay down the vocals. It's incredible because you have the vocals very close mic'd. And you can even hear them moving around on the microphone a little bit, which is kind of rare for albums from back that far back. Early 50s, you don't hear that too much. Here you do hear it a little bit. It's not really in your face, but it's there. And then you have the orchestra kind of mixed in the background, drenched in some reverb. It's got all those sounds that you want to hear off of a vintage RCA pressing. It's incredible. Frequency extension, wonderful, wonderful high frequency content on it. Now, this album is somebody that we've heard of, you probably have heard of Eartha Kitt. That's the lady that did Santa Baby, that enduring Christmas sultry song that she sang. Eartha Kitt died just in 2010, by the way. This is Eartha Kitt's, if not her breakout, but one of her breakout pieces she did. This is 1952. Santa Baby comes out in 1953. This is where Eartha Kitt rockets up into frontier stardom. Of course, Eartha Kitt. You might have seen her in Batman as the Catwoman. Now, I looked through all the other names on here. I didn't really recognize anybody else except for Eartha and Paul Lynde. Paul Lynde you saw in the Hollywood Squares, saw him on Laugh-In. I believe he was on Bewitched. I'm not going to focus on him. He's not really a singer, but he's one of the performers on this album. I recognize nobody else on this album, although I did look up the conductor, who was Anton Copploa. And I go, Coppola. It's that Coppola. He is related to Francis Ford Coppola. By the way, Anton Copploa is still alive today, 102 years old. Wow, Anton. Okay, so anyway, this album is is an example of RCA recording greatness, and it's not expensive. You can find these on eBay for under $10 in reasonable condition. And another thing about this album, it's in mono. Sorry, no stereo recordings of this available. And it was reissued by a small Archive Records, reissued it in vinyl. Sony reissued it, I believe, twice in CD. I don't know if anybody tried to jigger out a stereo mix on any of those things. I don't think so. The only other bad thing about this album, one big detractor, and it might be pressing specific, is that the last song on the first side, a fabulous performance by Eartha Kitt, not singing in her typical sultry manner, but singing in kind of a young French girl manner. It had intergroove distortion, pretty bad. So that was the only thing I could really go, gosh, if that wasn't the case, that would be just fantastic. I'm going to buy another issue of this, like near mint or something like that, either off eBay or off Discogs, and see if that intergroove distortion isn't so bad on that one. But that was really the only thing I could say that was bad about this album. So go out and find New Faces, 1952. Enjoy the wonderful RCA early 50s, mid 50s type sound for not a lot of money. So thanks for listening and thanks for watching. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any comments, leave them below. We really enjoy your participation. We sell phono preamps and a moving coil step up, and you can see those all at loungeaudio.com. We also have links to those products below. Thank you again. This is Lounge Audio signing out.